In this video, we clean an engine bay. Stay tuned. Welcome back and/or to the channel. In this video today, I'm going to show you how to easily clean an engine bay to get the appearance back underneath your hood the way it was when you first bought your vehicle. And it doesn't need to take a lot of time. You don't need to break out a bunch of water or have a bunch of chemicals. All you need is some simple wipes that you can buy either at any hardware store, any auto parts store, or even some big convenience stores that have these. I will be using the Meguiar's wipes, and I will be using the Satin wipes. Now they do have a matte and they do have a gloss. You can go with either of the three based on what you want for the appearance. I don't like the gloss because it does get a little slimy, so I tend to stay away from that one. But I do like the Satin ones. They do add a little bit of shine to it, and it seems like they last a little bit longer. The matte are nice on the inside of a vehicle, inside the compartment where you're sitting, so you don't get any kind of grease or residue on the vehicle. So there I tend to use the matte ones because it doesn't add that slickness that adds the shine. But I've been asked by quite a few people I know, how do I always get my engine compartments looking so clean? And today I'm going to finally show you the trick that I do. And it's, like I said, it's very simple, and anyone can do this from your garage or even parked in your driveway when the weather's nice and you've got to be outside. So here we go. I'm going to show you what I do. And it's, like I said, for the most part, it's pretty simple. The biggest thing is to make sure that your wipes don't dry out. If they do, they're not going to work very well. So what I do is I pull one out and I just kind of fold it over. That way I get, because the liquid will stay towards the bottom if you store them upright. So you'll only really have a whole lot of liquid on the bottom part of the towel, unless you buy a fresh one. You buy a fresh one, they're soaked. But sometimes they're better to store them laying down. That way it absorbs through the towel more and it just doesn't pool at the bottom of the container. But I'm going to go ahead and bring you in here so we can kind of see what's going on, and that way you can kind of see where I do actually clean and where I don't. Okay, so now that we got everything set up, what I normally do is look for any of the large plastic pieces, and I just start a simple wiping process. And like I said, this all depends on how much you want to get carried away when you're cleaning your engine compartment. Most of the time you can take a simple 5 or 10 minute deal, clean this up. And like I said, I'm not doing any clipping, cutting, and editing here. So, I mean, you'll see in real time just how much time I spend on this just to get the results that you'll see here shortly. Some of this stuff cleans up real easy. Some of it gets kind of caked on, or you'll get water spots, or if you had a water pump fail, you'll have kind of a mess to clean up from that. So then it may take you a little longer during this process, but if you've already done this and you're just doing this as a touch-up, it shouldn't take you that long to just kind of go through your engine compartment, touch all this stuff up, and then you'll have it back to the way it was when you bought it from the dealership. Now, they use some different stuff to kind of do this. Some of them will actually spray water in the engine compartment. And here's why I avoid water in my engine compartment. You have a lot of vital electronics underneath the hood of a car now. It isn't like it was back in the day. Back in the day, you only had really an alternator to worry about, and the wiring if the wiring got too wet. Nowadays, you have computers, you still have your alternator, which is usually located in a bad spot to get water in it because you can't get the water out of there. The other thing that you have to watch out for is there's so much more circuitry on the top of an engine, and if that gets wet, the vehicle will have issues. So I try to avoid using water as much as possible. That's why I use the Meguiar's wipes. I've used these for years, and I really like how well they work to clean up pretty much everything from interior messes to underneath the hood. I've had very, very good luck with them. I am keeping an eye on some current products that they have coming out, and when I can get my hands on them, I want to do a review for you and kind of show you what they're currently offering in their new line. Now, I'm not sponsored by them. I buy everything from them at full price, so I'm going to give honest reviews. If it's something that doesn't work very well or I'm not too happy with the product, I will definitely let you know that. But usually that's about as much as you're going to get out of one wipe. One wipe will give you about that much, and then the liquid is gone, and at that point you're not really doing anything to help clean it up. So you want to switch and grab a new one. We haven't been at this very long, and I've got quite a bit of the components cleaned up that I would be after underneath my hood. And if you do get one that's really soaked, that has a lot of the liquid on it, take the time to just move around to different parts and spread that liquid around while it's still soaking wet, because you can always go back in and wipe the shine back into the panel, but that liquid doesn't last as long. So when the liquid kind of runs out, you lose the chance to be able to move on to that next panel. Well, if you spread that liquid out, you can then go back and wipe the shine back into the panel. Like I said, I'm hitting this engine cover a couple of different times because that last rag was just really dry. And you can wipe metal with this, you can wipe plastic, rubber, it really doesn't matter. Whatever you want to have clean, you can take the time to wipe it. Like I said, how much time you take is kind of up to you and the extent of what you want to do. I try to hit the surfaces that I can see from the top, and that's really what I focus on, is the main visuals under the hood. I don't get too carried away with trying to get in and get it perfect. But if you were to take the time to really detail out the engine, you could really get a nice look and nice clean for what you're trying to do. Like I said, that rag had a lot of liquid in it, so now I'm going to go back. I'm just going to wipe the shine into the panel and try to pull off some of the extra liquid that I had. Some of these spots were really, really bad. Some of this comes from driving through the rain or going through multiple car washes. A lot of times water will come up underneath and just soak everything. If you live in a climate that has salt and things like that, they use sand to move the salt. A lot of that sand and dust and dirt gets up underneath this hood, and you have to take the time to kind of wipe it all down, get that stuff out. But that's simple. In just a few minutes, we transform this engine bay from being completely dirty to completely wiped up. And what I'll try to do is I'll try to clip a before and after back to back in this video so that you can see what it looked like before and what it looked like after. But in just a few minutes, we completely transformed this and got it cleaned back up to the way it was when we took it off the showroom floor. Now, we did buy it as a used vehicle, so it wasn't brand new clean, because you're going to have some areas you can't reach by doing this. But this overall process, like I said, I'm not going to clip and cut out a bunch of stuff that I did off camera, so you saw everything. And it only took about 10 minutes to do this video. So, I mean, in a short amount of time, you could clean this up, get this all kind of put back to the way it was when you first got the vehicle, and it should be good to go for a while. Most of the time, I don't have to do this. Maybe every other oil change, depending on how bad the climate was. Winter times are usually worse. I usually have to wipe it in between an oil change. But that's still, you're talking about once a month maybe. And that's honestly all that I do to keep my engine bays looking nice. So that's going to about do it for today's video. Just a simple cleaning process that doesn't have to take very long. So I'd like to say thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.